My sister dropped her 3 kids at my doorstep with a note. Need to find myself in Europe, back in 2 weeks. 6 months later, she was living in Paris with her new boyfriend while I raised her children, until my lawyer called with news that made me drop my phone. Your late father's second will. It changes everything. The morning Emma dropped off her kids was deceptively ordinary. I was preparing for a video conference, laptop open on my kitchen counter, coffee growing cold beside me. Then came the knock. 3 quick taps that would change my life forever. I opened the door to find my sister, perfectly manicured as always. Designer sunglasses perched on her head. Behind her stood 3 confused-looking children, Jake, 10, Sophie, 7, and little Max, 4. They clutched backpacks and small suitcases. Sarah, darling, Emma's voice had that artificial sweetness she used when she wanted something. I need the teeniest favor. Before I could respond, she was already pushing past me, ushering the kids inside. It's just for 2 weeks. I've been offered this amazing opportunity in Europe. A chance to really find myself, you know. I stood there, mouth open, as she dropped a folder on my counter. Here are their schedules, medical info, all that boring stuff. Jake has soccer on Thursdays. Sophie's allergic to peanuts, but you knew that. And Max still needs his nightlight. Emma, wait, I finally managed. I have work. I can't just. You work from home, she waved dismissively. Perfect setup for watching kids. Mom and Dad agree. It's the best solution. Of course they did. In our family, Emma's desires had always been everyone else's obligations. Besides, she continued, checking her phone, you're alone in this big house. Some company will do you good. That stung. My husband David's death 2 years ago was still a raw wound, one Emma never hesitated to prod. My flight's in 3 hours, she announced, already heading for the door. I'll video call when I land. And just like that, she was gone, leaving me with 3 shell-shocked children and a folder full of responsibilities that weren't mine. I looked at the kids, my niece and nephews, standing awkwardly in my living room. Sophie's lower lip was trembling. Max clutched his stuffed dinosaur tighter. Jake just looked angry. She's not coming back in 2 weeks, is she? Jake asked, his voice harder than any 10-year-old's should be. I wanted to lie to reassure them, but looking into his eyes, I saw he already knew the truth. Let's get you settled in, I said instead. The first week was chaos. I had to reschedule client meetings, rearrange my home office, and learn the intricate dance of school drop-offs and pickups. Emma's detailed folder was barely more than a few hastily scribbled notes. I discovered Sophie's peanut allergy extended to all tree nuts the hard way, via a terrifying midnight ER visit. Emma's promised video call never came, just a text, having the most amazing time. Met someone special. 2 weeks might stretch a bit. You're the best. 2 weeks became a month, 1 month became 3. Emma's Instagram told the story she wouldn't tell us, parties in Paris, yacht trips in the Mediterranean, cozy photos with a French photographer named Pierre. Meanwhile, I was helping with homework, attending parent-teacher conferences, and trying to keep my consulting business afloat. The kids slowly began to adjust. We developed routines. Jake opened up about his anger management issues at school, something Emma had never mentioned. Sophie's nightmares about abandonment began to ease as I proved night after night that I would always come when she called. Max stopped asking when Mommy was coming home. My parents were surprisingly unhelpful. Emma's finally living her life, Mom said during one of her rare visits. She was so young when she had Jake. She never got to experience anything. And what about her kids' lives? I asked. Mom just sighed and changed the subject. 4 months in, I received the first letter from Emma's lawyer. She wanted me to sign temporary guardianship papers. Just a formality, the letter said, to make school and medical decisions easier. I sat at my kitchen table late that night after the kids were asleep, staring at those papers, legally becoming responsible for 3 children I never planned to raise. I thought about David, about the family we planned to have before cancer stole our future. What would you do? I whispered to his photo on the wall. As always, his smile offered no answers. The next morning, I called my own lawyer, Victoria Bennett. She'd handled David's estate and had become something of a friend. Let me review everything before you sign anything, she said. Something about this feels off. 2 days later, Victoria called back. Her voice was strange, excited but cautious. Sarah, I found something while doing background checks. It's about your father. My father. He passed away 5 years ago. What? He left a second will, Victoria interrupted. One that was supposed to be revealed only under specific circumstances. Your sister's abandonment of her children might just trigger those circumstances. I felt the world tilt slightly. What are you saying? I'm saying come to my office, bring the guardianship papers Emma sent. And Sarah, this changes everything. Victoria's office was all leather and mahogany, the kind of place that smelled of old books and serious decisions. She had multiple documents spread across her desk. Your father was a clever man, she said as I sat down, and it seems he knew your sister better than anyone. She picked up a document, clearly old but official looking. This will was created 12 years ago, right after Jake was born. It contained specific provisions about Emma's children. My hands shook as I took the paper. There, in my father's familiar handwriting, was a letter attached to the will. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, it means Emma has done what I feared she might, chosen herself over her children. I watched her with Jake as a baby, saw the restlessness in her eyes, the way she looked at her old life with longing. I love my daughter, but I know her heart. I'm setting aside a trust for the children's care. If Emma ever abandons them for more than 3 months, the trust activates. The house I left to Emma transfers to you, along with sufficient funds to raise the children comfortably. There are also funds set aside for their education. Emma will receive a small monthly stipend, but she cannot access the bulk of her inheritance, unless she returns, and demonstrates genuine commitment to her children, for at least 1 year. I'm trusting you with this responsibility, because you have always been the strong one, the caring one. Where Emma seeks what the world can give her, you seek what you can give to others. I'm sorry for the burden this may place on you, but those children deserve a chance at stability and love. Take care of them, Sarah, and know that I have taken care of you. Love, Dad. I read the letter 3 times, tears blurring the words. All these years, Dad had known. He had prepared for this very scenario. Victoria gave me time to compose myself before continuing. The trust is substantial. Your father made some excellent investments. The children will be well provided for, and there's enough to compensate you for their care. I don't care about the money, I said automatically. No, Victoria smiled. That's exactly why your father chose you. She pulled out another document. Now, about those guardianship papers Emma sent. They're not just for temporary guardianship. She's trying to get you to sign away your rights to contest any future arrangements she might make for the children. What does that mean? It means she's planning something. My sources suggest she and this Pierre person are discussing taking the children to France eventually. These papers would make it harder for you to prevent that. The thought of the children being uprooted again, taken to a foreign country by a mother who had already abandoned them once, made my blood run cold. What do we do? Victoria's smile turned slightly predatory. We use your father's will. Emma's actions have triggered the trust conditions. Legally, the house is now yours. More importantly, we can file for permanent guardianship. With a documented abandonment and your father's will supporting you, we have a strong case. I thought about Jake's anger finally starting to ease, about Sophie's growing confidence, about Max's laughter returning. Do it, I said, whatever it takes to protect them. That night, as I tucked the kids into bed, Sophie in the room I painted purple for her, Jake in the space he'd made his own with soccer posters, Max clutching his dinosaur in his race car bed, I felt a strange mix of sadness and determination. Emma had given birth to these children, but she'd never really seen them. Never noticed how Jake's anger masked his fear of not being enough. Never realized Sophie's perfectionism was a desperate bid for attention. Never understood that Max's clinginess came from deep insecurity. But I saw them. And thanks to Dad's foresight, I could protect them. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma. Pierre and I are engaged. Thinking of having the kids come for the wedding in Paris.